2018-2019 NHL season preview featuring the Boston Bruins, Arizona Coyotes, and Anaheim Ducks. 2018-2019 NHL season preview featuring the Boston Bruins. Last season, the Boston Bruins lost in the second round of the playoffs to the Tampa Bay Lightning. This season, the Bruins look to make it deeper into the playoffs. However, it will be a challenge. In free agency, the Bruins signed J.Moore to a 5-year deal worth $2.75 million per season. They also signed J.Halak to back up T.Rask. Next offseason, the Bruins have a few players to re-sign. Z.Chara-C and Adam McQuaid are UFAs, while Charlie McAvoy, Brandon Carlo, Danton Heinen, and Ryan Donato are RFAs. The Boston Bruins look like a top team in the division heading into the 2018-2019 season. The Bruins have one of the best first lines in the league with B.Marchand-P.Bergeron-D.Pastrnak. That line is capable of carrying the bulk of the scoring for Boston. The Bruins have great secondary scoring on their second and third lines. However, the third line could be an issue when they run into better teams. Defensively, the Bruins have a solid top four with Z.Chara, Torrey Krug, Charlie McAvoy, and Brandon Carlo. J.Moore adds to their defensive depth as he is a good third pair defenseman. As always, T.Rask is the most important Bruin. He'll need to play like an elite goalie all season long. The Boston Bruins should be a playoff team this season. Question is, how deep into the playoffs will they go? This is how the lineup looks like right now. The first line is Brad Marchand, Patrice Bergeron, and David Pastrnak. The second line is J.Debrusk-D.Krejci-D, and D.Backes. Third line, Ryan Donato, Jacob Forbacka-Karlsson, and Danton Heinen. The fourth line is S.Kuraly, Noel Acciari, and Anders Bork. The first D pair is Z.Chara and Charlie McAvoy. Second D pair, Torrey Krug and Brandon Carlo. Third D pair, J.Moore-K.Miller. The goalies are T.Rask and Yaroslav Halak. 2018-2019 NHL season preview featuring the Arizona Coyotes. The Arizona Coyotes were once again one of the worst teams in the NHL last season. In the 2018 draft, the Coyotes selected Barry Hayton with the 5th pick. This is a questionable pick, especially with the players chosen after him. In the offseason, the Coyotes acquired Alex Galchenyuk from the Montreal Canadiens for Max Domi. J.Debrusk-D.Krejci-D was re-signed for 4 years at $4.5 million per season. In free agency, the Coyotes signed M.Grabner and Hinostranza. Next offseason, the Coyotes have to re-sign a few key players. Richard-Panik is a UFA, while J.Chechurn-N, Crouse, and B.Perlini are RFAs. It should not be an issue to re-sign these players because the Coyotes have tons of cap space. The Arizona Coyotes don't look like a playoff team heading into the 2018-2019 season. However, they do have many great young players in their lineup. The Coyotes have a budding young star in Clayton Keller, who has already become their go-to guy. Alex Galchenyuk will finally get the chance to prove that he's a legit number 2 center in the league. The Coyotes' third line with Dylan Strome, Christian Fischer, and Dvorak is actually really talented, but it lacks experience. Defensively, the Coyotes have a good top 4 with O.E.L., Jason Demers, J.Churn-N, and Nicholas Hjalmarsson. They also have Alex Goligoski playing on their third D pair. R.Raanta was actually really good last season when he was healthy. The issue is, can he be durable enough to be a starting goalie in the NHL? The Coyotes have a lot of talent on the roster, but there are more questions than answers, which is why the Coyotes most likely won't make the playoffs. This is how the lineup looks like right now. The first line is Clayton Keller, Derek Stepan, and Richard Panik. The second line is Brandon Perlini, Alex Galchenyuk, and Hinostranza. The third line is Dylan Strome, Christian Dvorak, and Christian Fischer. The fourth line is Lawson-Crouse, Brad Richardson, and Michael-Grabner. The first D pair is O.Ekman-Larsson and Jason Demers. The second D pair is J.Chechurn-N and Nicholas Hjalmarsson. Third D pair, A.Goligoski-K.Connouton. The goalies are R.Raanta and D.Kuemper. 2018-2019 NHL season preview featuring the Anaheim Ducks. Last season, the Anaheim Ducks had another disappointing season, losing in the first round of the playoffs once again. The Ducks' window at winning a Stanley Cup is closing, as Getzlaf-Perry and Kesler are 33 and will start to decline soon. In the offseason, the Ducks had limited cap space, but managed to re-sign some players. Montour was re-signed for 2 years, and K.Kase was re-signed for 3 years. Ritchie is still not re-signed yet. Goaltender J.Gibson was re-signed for 8 years at $6.4 million per season. This contract starts in the 1920 season. Adam Henrique was re-signed for 5 years at $5.85 million per season. This contract starts in the 1920 season. In free agency, the Ducks added Carter Rowney, Brian Gibbons, and Luke Schenn. Next offseason, the Ducks have to re-sign Jacob Silfverberg, who is a UFA. Heading into the 2018-2019 season, the Anaheim Ducks still look like a playoff team. The Ducks still have a dominant first line with R.Rakell, R.Getzlaf, and Corey Perry. Their second line with Cogliano-R.Kesler, and Silfverberg is one of the best two-way lines in the league. The X factor is Adam Henrique. He can play like a number 1 center one game and a third line center the next. Defensively, the Ducks have a tremendous top 4 with Fowler, Lindholm, Montour, and Josh Manson. J.Gibson is a great regular season goalie. However, his postseason play needs to be better for the Ducks to go deep into the playoffs. The Anaheim Ducks should be desperate right now. If they don't win a Stanley Cup in the next 2 years, they may never win a Stanley Cup again. This is how the lineup looks like right now. The first line is R.Rakell, R.Getzlaf, and Corey Perry. The second line is Andrew Cogliano, Ryan Kesler, and Jacob Silfverberg. The third line is N.Ritchie-A.Henrique-O.Kase, Adam Henrique, and R.Kase. The fourth line is Brian Gibbons, Carter Rowney, and T.Terry. The first D pair is Hampus Lindholm and Josh Manson. Second D pair is Cam Fowler and Brandon Montour. Third D pair is Marcus Pettersson and Luke Schenn. Goaltenders are J.Gibson and R.Miller. On the next NHL Hangout video, I'll be giving draft advice in fantasy hockey.